How do you be a good parent? Well, that's a very difficult question to answer. But one of the big problems I think that parents have is understanding that doing things for your child that they can do themselves is not good. So what I'm saying is that if your child is old enough to make their bed, they should. If your child is capable of making a sandwich, well, they should make their lunch every day. I mean, eventually we become capable to the point where we can wipe our own bums. Are there parents out there still wiping the bums of children who are toilet trained? Surely not much over 5, I'd like to think. But one of the biggest challenges is that it's quite often that, I'll use another context. What I've noticed in my time is that generally the most neglectful parents, being the parents who suffer from the guilt of having to work too much and not spend as much time with their children as they should, they will always have the biggest toy collection. This is indicative of the parents who have split up. It's quite often that the child who's, with mum most of the time or dad most of the time, whoever the child is with less will generally get more stuff. This is obviously overcompensating for the time that they don't get to spend with their child. Is it a good thing? No, it's not. But the important message of this video is to understand doing less for your child is actually empowering them to do more. There's nothing more unattractive than a teenager who is still incredibly needy on his mum and dad to clean their room, to make their lunch, to make their appointments for them. It actually gets worse as they get older. I mean, there are plenty of 40-year-olds out there that are still children. So in this lockdown period, I'm suggesting to you, perhaps, go through a list. Now, what are the things that your child can do for themselves? Is it possible that they could make their lunch every day? Is it possible that they could clean their own room? What can your child do? What is your child capable of doing that you're already doing for them? You're not necessarily a great parent if you continually do things for your child. You don't let them become independent. And that really is our job as parents, to enable our children to be independent. Now, this is a challenge for a lot of parents out there because their whole worth, their whole purpose can sometimes be defined as their parent. I mean, it's not often that, once a parent has children, they stop work, they stop doing anything, and they just become, this slave to a child. And what's difficult for the parents is, as the children get older, if you've done a great job, they'll become less needy. Therefore, you'll be needed less. And as the parent, you'll have issues around what your purpose is. And you might even resent your child. I mean, there are all kinds of bad things that happen. But really, the point of this message is to work out and establish what are the things that your child can do on their own without you that enables them to be more independent. Because a more independent child is a more independent adult. And that would be, I think, a good thing.